Welcome back, boys and girls, and here we are with your favorite podcast, the Speakeasy Drink Better group. I'm here with John and Edelweiss for another great episode. Guys, we got a lot of great things in store tonight. We're going to be talking about a little setup here, how to set up your bar, your barware. John and Edelweiss will give you guys the rundown of how to really just some basic stuff to be able to rock out and make some good drinks at home. I'm going to be back here. I'm going to make one of the most famous global drinks, cocktails. You guys know what it is, right? What is it?
A margarita. You don't know how to make a margarita, then?
Yeah. So we'll be testing my skills. We're gonna test my skills on making the margarita. Comes out good, comes out bad, but it's one of the hardest drinks. Everything. Like some of these drinks, the simple ones, are the hardest ones to make. So we're gonna try to make one here tonight. I got it all set up.
Well, we teach you guys at home how to make a classic margarita.
Yeah. So pass it over to Edelweiss and John to give you their little Barware 101.
This ain't little, man. This is serious. We're doing a deep dive here because you guys have to know about this stuff, right? Because I think that if you have a bar at home, if you take cocktail making seriously, I think it's really important that if you don't have every tool in the book, it's really important that you at least know what they are, know how they could, work to your advantage when making cocktails at home. So, I don't really know where to start. I think the most obvious place to start, for me at least, is probably a shaker. Yeah. So Alex is using right now our Boston shaker. It's a 2-part tin shaker, 16-ounce tin and a 32-ounce tin that go together. They're really light. They're nice. You can mix up easily. Classic shaking cocktails go in this. Creates a really good seal. And that's super important when you make cocktails, because if you have ever made a cocktail and not, and use something like what we're going to talk about in a second, which is the cobbler shaker.
Probably the one that you recognize the most would be the
cobbler shaker. Yeah. So for me, this is what I first started making cocktails with. I'm sure it's what everybody started making cocktails with. But for me, this is probably the worst example. I'm going to show you why. So first of all, it's 3 parts rather than 2. Second of all, you kind of have an issue sometimes. Like I know that I've had an issue in the past where this strainer part in the middle, which is nice. It's handy because you don't actually need a strainer, but still, this will pop out. If it's not forged in there, it's going to pop out. I mean, this can get kind of grody. You can end up with some bacteria and stuff in it. It's kind of hard to clean. But really the worst part about this, and I'm sorry if you guys have one, don't shoot the messenger, but the problem is these don't create a great seal. So what happens is while you're shaking, the inside of this is going to expand a little bit, and if you don't have a good seal in here, you can literally lose the top off of this and your cocktail goes flying. Right? And if it's ever happened to you, you know what I'm talking about, and it's a gigantic bummer. So for us, please use a Boston shaker. They're so much better. And if you do have a pint glass fits really nicely to that. So it's a really classic way of using a Boston shaker. Anyway, that's enough about the shakers for now, but really, really important for me with this, don't even bother. Next up, which probably, I would say, most important next to the cocktail shaker is probably the jigger, right? So the jigger here, so you're using my bell jigger. This is actually a kind of a Japanese style jigger. It actually is kind of cool because it's conical. There's my bell jigger. This is awesome because it's very ergonomic, right? So it fits with the handshake. So when you pour your alcohol in, typically what you're going to get is a really nice hole with the hand. You just kind of pour it in. If you're not really well versed in mixing and you use one of these, they're all measured out pretty much the same. They're starting to get a little bit more granular, but this one is going to be on the big side, just like this one, 1.5 ounces and 2 ounces at the top right here. And on the back side, it's going to be 1/2 ounce. And this one's actually 0.75 ounces. On this one, it's actually 1 ounce. So it's slightly bigger volume. Again, I like this one because of ergonomics. This one, though, is very, very precise, right? Because the meniscus comes to a point and it's conical, you can kind of get a better measurement, right? But a little bit more unwieldy. Either one of these are great. I love them. And, we're math fans, we're fractions fans. We can go and we can use those to basically make any measurement we need to pour a decent cocktail. Now, to follow up with that, sometimes you may see on your bottle of liquor when you go to a bar, this is a speed pourer. So a speed pourer is really great because it actually helps to deliver the alcohol out of the bottle at a quicker rate and in a more controlled stream, which allows you to more precisely measure and also quickly measure different alcohols that you're putting into your cocktails. You can get a speed pourer kind of anywhere. If you ever go to a bar, you could probably ask a bartender for one, probably throw you one, but this is a bartender's best friend. The next most important thing, I think, when we're talking about a shaker and a jigger, don't mind us.
How would be a strainer?
Strainer? You want to go with the strainer or you want to do the cup?
I think that Alex is about to...
He's about to use the strainer. So what type of strainer is this? Do you remember?
But you'll tell us.
So it's a Hawthorne strainer. Now don't ask me where that name came from, but remember the functionality behind this. This strainer is great because it offers precision, whereas something like this, which is a julep strainer, which has a funny story that I'll tell you in a minute, but this is kind of one of those things that's, for me, more design and less function, but here's why. If you look at this Hawthorne strainer right here, and I really love these because you get a lot of different use out of this, right? So if you are looking to mix a cocktail and not have a ton of ice come through, or you aren't mixing a cocktail that has ingredients that are, intentional to the cocktail, like let's say mint in a mint julep or in a mojito or something like that, or you have like pieces of fruit that you want to see. The good thing is with this, you can set it into the top of your you got one right on there too. You can sit it right on top of the Boston shaker tin that's right there, and it sits right in, so it'll actually be able to filter out everything and pour you a nice smooth cocktail without having to double strain. But if you are fancy and you would really like a clarified cocktail that's going to have little to no sediment in it, this is what we call a tool of refinement. This is a fine mesh strainer. So if you were to pour this, what would happen?
Still use that, but use this to do a double, what they call a double strain.
Exactly. And so for me, it's said that it'll make the cocktail smoother, shaken cocktail smoother, which, it totally can. But if you're mixing a martini and you like those little ice chunks in there, which some people do, I know I do, one of these is just fine. And you can let the top open just like that, and it'll actually pour in and you get a little bit more chunky, which is kind of cool if you're into that. But anyway, I digress. So these are the different types of strainers.
Next up, I would say a bar spoon.
Okay.
It's very, very essential in your barware at home. And why is that? Because you would think, well, if I have a regular spoon, why would I need this? We'll explain right now why.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important.
Important.
Yeah, so you see the design of this, and I mean, this actually serves a couple of purposes. You could use this end to break ice. This is actually a nice little end right here. It's got some power to it and weight. This spoon is great because not only does it provide surface area for spooning, but it also allows you to take garnishes up with it, which is really awesome. But then the other side, this kind of spiral design here, this actually helps with drag while you're stirring. And also you can use it, you can actually use it to introduce different alcohols like floaters and such into your drink and have it kind of sit on top of it. But this is great ergonomically for stirring. It lowers the resistance in the alcohol or in the glass. But for me, this is where I was going to go first, but this is our alternative to a shaken cocktail apparatus like Boston Shaker.
This is what you would use for any stirred drink.
Yeah. So like last week we did a Manhattan. We did a stirred Manhattan in a nice heavy stirring glass. Yeah, exactly.
And then the bar spoon they kind of go hand in hand. Like
exactly.
Typically stirred drinks, yes, these two go.
And like this is great too because
a couple.
Yeah, you can use it as a pour. It's kind of cool because if you want to go higher volume, like I said before, I'm typically making cocktails. We're all making cocktails for multiple people. This has significantly more volume, and if you're doing stirred cocktails, like you're doing a batch of Old Fashioned, you're doing a batch of Manhattan, whatever the case may be, you can just get more volume in here. And You can stir it and agitate it to the point where you make a larger batch cocktail, but it's still a very high quality cocktail. Now,
listen, we'll be using it in a different, plenty of episodes. Actually, what's coming up that
we used
probably touched that on that today. So.
And we used it last week, a couple weeks ago. Whenever we did the Manhattan,
I think we use it almost every week.
I know you do.
We keep a few. We have like 3 of them back here, but we're like that. We're making multiple drinks at once, so it's always good to have if you can. But otherwise, one should suffice.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're in a pinch and you don't have something like that, a really heavy bottom pint glass can work too. I mean, it's conical, right? So it kind of goes up in a V shape, so they can kind of topple over. But that's why you have a bar mat. So you put your stirring glass right on top of the bar mat, and that'll kind of help keep it tight. Right? So what we're looking at here is kind of the bartender's best friend outside of maybe, I don't know, I guess maybe the shaker, maybe the jigger, maybe the speed pour, I think I said, but I think the bar mat and that drink mat right there is probably one of the most important things. This is also kind of important too. I was talking about mojitos before. This is a muddler. So muddlers are really great for infusing cocktails with whole fruit or herb ingredients like
macerate. Fruit and any, like if you're doing gin and tonic, you're at caipirinha,
Caipirinha is a huge one.
Something when you want to break down
the.
And it's also sometimes you want to leave it if you like for certain drinks, caipirinha or mojito, kind of macerate it in the glass you're going to serve it.
Yeah,
let out the oils and stuff and all that liquid.
Same deal with an old fashioned. You use a muddler for an old fashioned. Classically, you'd have a sugar cube with some Angostura bitters on top of it.
The sugar in there.
And a touch of the juice in there as well. So for me, muddler is super important, especially if you like that style of cocktail.
For me, having a bar knife or a knife, but typically a bar knife is going to look like this. This is a proper bar
shorter
knife.
Blade,
this is the blade is shorter.
Big strong handle.
And the handle is, you have a good grip. And this is typically I think Alex just used it to cut his lime or,
Yeah.
So again, it seems like it might get overlooked until you need one.
Oh yeah. Stamping guy wouldn't tip you, something, one of those.
Oh man.
And then another one of my favorite little, fancy bar tools is this pair of tongs. They look like you're gonna perform surgery, but it really is to be able to grab your garnishes.
Grab garnishes,
grab
ice.
It with your hands, right? Or ice, or just to place your garnish.
Tool of refinement for sure. I mean, I think it's cool when you have different tools that you can use to make your cocktails look super pretty, kind of like what Alex did right there, which is awesome. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about is 2 things. Sorry. The penultimate thing we will talk about is the waiter's best friend, which for me, any bar is not complete without one of these. Now we talk about cocktails all the time. However, there are bottles of vermouth and fortified wines, ports out there that you may make cocktails out of. I know Edelweiss, we talked about you liking port Manhattans. They will have corks in them, so we really want to make sure that we have this style of corkscrew. This is a double hinged corkscrew that comes along with a wax or capsule knife. Capsule is that little cap that goes on top of the wine. You can either pull it off or you can cut it off, and some wine bottles will have some wax on top of it as well. But this is just absolutely awesome, and you can open beer bottles with this. Please, the rabbit ears are nice. Just get one of these and learn how to use this, because this is the way to go. This is what the pros use. And the last bit, of course, is the bar towel, your very special bar towel that you have. This is probably one of the more important things, especially when you have a really nice bar like this, and you want to just wipe up. Right? For spills and anything else.
Yeah, these little babies come in so handy. Again, like the bar knife, you don't know you need them until you do, and something spills or even a little bit of moisture, water, whatever, you need something to just quickly wipe your surface. Very important to keep this handy. Dry your hands they come in very, very handy.
Yeah. The last thing that we had there was a frother. Now I've never actually a frother, and it looks like we have a fruit peeler too. The fruit peeler is self-explanatory, people. It's really important when you want to go ahead and peel lemons, limes, oranges. That's funny. But
reenactment.
There you go. See?
So for your old fashions, this is key. You always want to get a little bit of the peel. This is just a simple thing.
Same with the frother. Oops, that's tangled in here. Just to quickly show the audience what the basically you also you'll see this a lot in the mornings while making, barista might have one of these. It's basically.
So it goes in and it agitates it. It'll put a head on the top of it, right? It'll foam.
It'll foam
Yeah,
up.
there's a lot of those drinks which you want to have that, like a whiskey sour.
Yeah, like
an espresso martini.
sour.
Fortified cocktails with egg whites too. You can use that to froth as well instead of shake. Instead of like a dry shake.
You can use the
fee powder.
Fee foam.
Or the fee foam, sorry.
Fee foam works great too. It's kind of a substitute. It's kind of a quick trick instead of having
It's vegan too though, so that's kind of important.
That's cool.
As well.
This works great too if you want to. This does a great little foam. Just use a little more than what they recommend.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That works great.
But apart from that, I mean, that was a really quick rundown, I think. But you made us a cocktail and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, guys. So listen, I said I use a couple of the tools. I use the strainer. I use the Boston shaker. The knife. I actually I rimmed the glass with a little chili powder and salt, and this stuff works great. This stuff, it's all set up for you. It's great for a party. You put a little lime juice here, wet the rim, dip it inside, and then there you go.
We love that.
So very simple margarita.
What a beautiful presentation too.
Yeah,
but
can't
one
wait
thing, this is a true margarita. No mix. Please stay away from those mixes.
Yeah.
Listen, those things are garbage. I mean, they really don't. They really take away from the cocktail. There's a lot more there, flavor-wise, with the true lime juice, some Contro, or we use this Alma Finca, which is another. It's a Mexican
orange liqueur.
Orange liqueur, a little more tangerine, but very good.
Yeah, super tasty.
And that's it. So it's not a lot of ingredients. Just stay away from the mix. Yeah. Please. Say no to the mix.
Drink better, guys.
All right, and while I give this bad boy a try, we're going to say thank you, everyone, for watching tonight's episode. I hope that we taught you something, that you took notes, you learned the margarita recipe. We'll
post it on the page.
Yeah, it'll be posted up in the video at some point.
It popped up during the episode.
Yeah, there you go.
It's there or here or somewhere.
Somewhere. It'll be just not in front of my face, I hope.
So, well, guys.
That's all there is to it.
Thank you for joining us, and as always,
drink better responsibly.
Cheers.
Good night.
Peace.